All right. All right. All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Yes, this is Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, episode number 19, the Daily Walk Edition. And I'm back at Red Morton Park. I'm out here pretty late. I'm out here pretty late today because I had a bunch of things to work on in the morning to prepare for a very important interview I'm going to be doing tomorrow with Charles F. Gray. And there are not a whole lot of people out here at the park today, but they're coming from every direction. So it's kind of hard to avoid people today. I like to try to avoid running into people, not because I'm afraid to talk to people, because they interrupt my thoughts and they start saying things like, "Oh, are you vlogging? Oh, are you vlogging?" and this and that. And I just want to make sure I get my message out there. But anyway, yeah, I'm out here pretty late today. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Been working on a bunch of things, like I said, preparing for my important interview with Charles F. Gray, which will be pre-recorded tomorrow and will be online tomorrow evening on Charles F. Gray's YouTube channel, self-titled Charles F. Gray, and will be on my Facebook personal page and business page as well. Coach Eli, Uncompromising Business and Personal Relationship Coaching. A little windy out here today, so hopefully the windscreen is canceling out most of the wind. And yeah, it's just one of those days. It rained pretty hard yesterday in the Bay Area, which is why I, did my show yesterday from my in-home studio. Gave you folks a sneak peek of that as well. And it actually washed away pretty much all the smoke. And for the first time in around 2 weeks or so, we have healthy air back here in the San Francisco Bay Area, which is nice. And I think it's going to rain again later tonight. And I think I have a window of about another maybe 20 or 30 minutes before it starts coming down. So I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible because this is a very, very important subject today that I'm sure many of you want to know about or have contemplated. It is Thanksgiving Day. This pretty much officially starts, the holiday season. Many people say that Halloween starts the holiday season, but it's actually Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving to me has a lot of meaning. It's a day that you spend with your friends, your family, your loved ones. It's a day where you give thanks to those people that have been there for you and have helped you get through and navigate through the chronicles of life, the tough chronicles of life. Okay, it's not a day of selfishness. It's a day of selflessness. Be selfless. Be giving. It's a day to honor and give thanks to all those people out there that have served and protected our country. It's just a day, you know, of no arguing. It's a day where it's supposed to be positive and have nothing negative get in the way. But I'll be honest with you, in the past, it's been a day where my family has argued. Typically, my family has always argued on holidays. It's just one of those things. We're a Greek family, but now that my family's dwindled down, since my father passed away 10 years ago and then his parents passed away about 20 years ago, my family's dwindled down to my mother, my brother, myself, my aunt, and my cousin. And as a matter of fact, after I'm done recording this, I'm going to be having dinner with just my brother and my mother tonight at my mother's place. So, again, you know, this is a day where, there's nothing selfish about it. Do not make this day about yourself. Make this day about others. I'm always, I've always been the type of person that has a giving nature and a big heart. And to me, I act like it's Thanksgiving every single day, but I know many people don't. So if you're one of those people out there that doesn't give a lot throughout most of the year, first of all, you gotta you gotta change that up because you gotta become a better person. But second of all, at least today on Thanksgiving, make it about somebody else besides yourself. You're gonna feel a whole hell of a lot better. Trust me on that. So let's go ahead and get to the topic of today's Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, Daily Walk Edition, episode number 19. And that is, first of all, happy Thanksgiving once again. And the topic is, you know, how to cope with loss during the holiday season. And this includes breakups, divorces, and deaths. And when I say deaths, I mean like my father passed away 10 years ago. My father was my mentor. I loved my father to death, and I miss him to death all the time. And a day like today is going to remind me about him. And, I'm thinking about him, and I miss him, and I love him dearly. So, you know, again, the topic is Happy Thanksgiving and how to cope with loss during the holiday season. And again, when I say loss, that could mean if you've gone through a recent breakup, if you've been recently divorced, or, there's been a sudden death in your family, or somebody's died in the past, and the holiday season reminds you of their memory and, sparks up those emotions. And they're typically good emotions, but a lot of times they can be painful emotions too because you miss those people. So let me just kind of break it down. This video is not gonna be too terribly long because there really isn't a whole lot to say, and I just want to share with you folks some of the possibilities that may happen throughout this holiday season. Number one, if you've recently been dumped in a relationship within the last 2 to 3 months, or last month, or last 6 months, or 7 or 8 months or so, okay, and you've been in no contact, you still miss your other half that dumped you, okay, and initially you were trying to reach out to them, trying to rekindle things, but nothing was happening. Because what you hadn't realized is that the only way that you're ever going to get another chance with them is if they realize themselves that they made a mistake leaving you and they reach out to you. So many of you are in no contact, okay, and you've been hoping and waiting for your ex to reach back out to you, whether you're a man or a woman. Doesn't matter. Works the same both ways. And many people, always ask, I see this as a common question asked online. They ask other coaches, so I wanted to talk about this as well. Do the holidays, give it a better chance for your ex to reach out and contact you? What are my thoughts about that? What are my thoughts about an ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend reaching out during the holidays, either on Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's Day or sometime between now and the end of the year or the beginning of the new year? What are the chances? Do the chances increase? You never know. To be honest with you, you just never know. But what I can tell you, what the holidays do for me is they bring out more positive and forgiving emotion. They bring out the best in me, especially like I said on Thanksgiving today. Okay, today is a day where no matter who would reach out to me, even if I hate their guts, I wouldn't hate their guts today. I would talk to them like a normal, civil human being. And good, bad, or indifferent, I would sit there and appreciate, the time that they had a part in my life, even if it was in the past and we haven't spoken for a while. So that's what the holidays bring out to me. They bring out positive emotions. They bring out a forgiving nature. They just bring out the best in me. So, if you're in no contact and you miss your ex and you wish they would reach out to you, does this mean there's a better chance that he or she may reach out to you today or throughout the holiday season? There is a better chance, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. But what I will tell you is if you've been in no contact for 3 to 6 months, if you've been working on yourself and trying to better yourself, and you're still hoping that your ex reaches out to you, if they don't reach out to you by the end of the holiday season, in my opinion, they've probably moved on, and you should probably end up moving forward and not even thinking about them anymore. That's just my opinion right there. But yes, if I had to say, if there's a better chance that an ex is going to reach out to you on a day like today, or throughout the holiday season, I would say yes, but there is no guarantee. And that's because, the holidays are a special time and people's emotions flow more freely during this time. Anyway, a lot of people coming from everywhere today. There aren't a lot of people here today, they're just everywhere. So typically, there are some dead parts of the park on any given day, but today it's been different. They've been spreading themselves around just pretty much in every part of the park. So anyway, um, same thing with divorce. If you've gone through a divorce, are the holidays going to hit you? Absolutely, especially if you spend a lot of time with that person. Many people that have gone through divorce were married 5, 10, 15, 20 years or even longer. You spent many holidays together. They became routine. And all of a sudden, now your routine is broken and you no longer, have that person in your life where you share these special days with each and every year for many, many years. Okay? And, you know, many of you that have gone through divorce, are probably not going to reconcile. I know that once people go through divorce, it's very rarely that people get back together. I think it's less than 1% of the time or less than half a percent of the time. If you've gone through a breakup, you have a better chance. But if you've gone through a divorce, you know, um, that typically usually never turns around. I don't think anybody, male or female, uh, would want to go through a divorce um, unless they absolutely have to. And people that have been married are going to actually try to do whatever it takes to reconcile the relationship, at least in my opinion, before they go through the crazy process of divorce. When you're in a relationship, it's easy to walk away because you have no legal ties, and you haven't taken that sacrament bond yet. But when you're married, typically, the reconciling is attempted while you're still married, and once you get divorced, it's pretty much done. So I know there are many people out there that have gone through divorce and they didn't want to go through divorce, and they're probably missing what they had with their ex. I know what kind of a struggle. I know the kind of struggle you're going through, and I'll share with you folks how to cope with that in just a second. Now, one more thing here. Let's talk about, death. The holidays will remind you of special loved ones that either have recently passed away or have passed away in the past. Like my father, for example, who passed away 10 years ago. You know, it really hits me, to be honest with you, because my father used to work a lot when I was growing up. He used to work, you know, 12 to 14 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I very rarely saw him with the exception of holidays. Like I would see him on a daily basis, but maybe for like 5 minutes, you know, um, in the morning before he would go to work or take my brother and I to school, or if I stayed up really late on a school night or on a weekend night waiting for him to come home from work, which, he didn't like that because I was staying up late. But I would tell my dad, Dad, I miss you. You work all the time. I never see you. So the holidays to me are even more important because those were the days that I got to spend a full day with my dad. So, it does hit me. It does hit me emotionally, and quite honestly, it's perfectly normal. Okay. So those are, three instances there of things you're going to be dealing with throughout the holidays. It's perfectly normal to deal with these things. Even if you're a man, it's perfectly normal to feel these high levels of emotion. Just because you're a man, even if you're a strong, confident alpha male, you have emotions and you're going to feel this shit. And I'm here to tell you there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. You're not a big fucking pussy for feeling these types of emotions during the holidays. Doesn't make you any less of a man to feel emotions of certain or any loss in your life. It's just normal, totally normal. So how do you cope with it? Okay? How do you cope with these losses? If you're going through a breakup, or you've been dumped or you've been divorced, especially if it's recently, it's going to hit you. What are some things you can do? Spend time with your friends and family. Okay? But I'll tell you something, your friends and family are going to be the worst people to talk about your breakup or divorce with, because they care about you so much and love you so much and have your best interest in their head and heart, to the point of where they say, hey, you know what, there are plenty of more fish in the sea. She, wasn't good enough for you. They're going to say all those things where they think that they're making you feel better, where in essence they're making you feel worse. Because many of you, you know, if you've recently gone through a breakup or a divorce, you may still care about your ex and you may still want to try to reconcile things. So the last thing you want to hear from your family is a bunch of shit about your ex. And same thing with your friends. They're going to give you the same shit. Dude, you were too good for her, or dudette, you were too good for him, or whatever, right? Okay. So spend time with your friends and family, but don't talk about your relationships with them. Don't talk about your breakups with them. Don't talk about your divorce with them. If they bring it up, just say, hey, you know what? I'd rather not talk about it. I want to just enjoy this time with the family. I love you all. I don't want to bring this up. I'm doing just fine. Let's focus on something else. Change the fucking subject. Because if you don't, if you start talking about it, it's going to make you feel worse. It's going to make them feel bad, and you know, you don't really want to deal with that. You really don't. Okay. Um, and as far as, like I said, death. Okay. Some of you have lost some friends for whatever reason. Some of you have lost family for whatever reason. And on a day like Thanksgiving, it's going to trigger, you know, the loss. It's going to trigger the emotion of the loss. Okay? And in those situations, if you're hanging out with family and friends, it's okay to briefly talk about it. Hey, yeah, you know what? I miss my father. My father used to spend Thanksgiving with us. You know, let's say a prayer for him, and leave it at that and move on. I think the best remedy is to not dwell on it and to not overthink it. That's one of the better things you can do. Many people like to just really overly talk things out with the wrong people, and it just makes matters worse. So, what I'm trying to say here is that, when you're spending time with your friends and family, try to keep all that stuff to a minimum. Try to keep all that stuff to a minimum. Now, what can you do to make yourself feel better? Now, let me see here. Let me come over here. What are the best things to do to keep your mind off of things? Look what I'm doing. I'm at the park. I take walks every day by myself. I'm not saying you should spend all day every day by yourself, but you know what? Every so often, some alone time is really good. I really like my alone time. It allows me to focus and think about how I'm going to move forward. It allows me to focus on myself. And while that may sound selfish in some cases, it's okay to be selfish. I'm not saying be completely selfish and not take others into consideration. But when you're going through something like this, when you're feeling a loss and the holiday season is enhancing that loss, sometimes, you know, taking a nice walk, taking a nice walk at the park before you go have dinner with your family or hanging out with friends is going to put you in a better mindset. It's going to release those endorphins. Now, if you were just sitting on your ass at your place doing nothing and stuffing your face with food all morning, to numb pain, what's going to happen when you go to your family's place? You're already going to be feeling shitty. You're already going to be stuffed. And guess what? On Thanksgiving, people typically eat more than any other day. So if you were sitting around all morning eating, and then on Thanksgiving, um, at Thanksgiving dinner later that night, you eat a ton more, you're going to even feel more shitty afterwards. So get out there, take a walk, like on a day like this, or any given day, like I do. It gives you clarity. It allows you to breathe in the fresh air. It allows you to stay in shape. Allows you to get your mind off of things. Another thing you can do, start a daily vlog, kind of like what I do here. My whole thing is an entire coaching business. But you know what? Start a daily vlog. Get a selfie stick like I have here. This selfie stick cost me like 13 bucks, and this cheap Logitech headset cost me like 8 or 9 bucks. And then use your phone and go out and do daily vlogs like I do and post them on your Facebook. Okay? And share with your friends what's going on. That's going to make you feel better. I love doing these vlogs. I love doing these videos because I get to share with my friends what's going on with me at a mass level. And I love sharing stuff with my friends because this is what makes me feel good about myself, to do things like this, to share my experiences with each and every one of you. So that way you can compare it to what you've been going through and maybe learn something to better yourself. So if you did something wrong in the past and I did a video on it and you compared it to how I handle it, maybe you'll handle it better the next time and not make a mistake. I've made plenty of mistakes. I'm here to share my mistakes with you folks so you can learn from them and not make the same mistakes I did. Or if you make those mistakes, you'll be able to identify them and not make them again. That's what I really enjoy doing here. How long have we been going for here today? 23 minutes. This hasn't been the longest video. Like I said, it's probably not going to be the longest video because there really isn't a whole hell of a lot to talk about. I think I've pretty much drilled it into the ground. But yeah, before I wrap this up, look, folks, I know there are many people out there that are suffering emotionally for one of many reasons. Okay? We're all going through a lot of shit. Okay? The world has changed. It's a different place right now. It's a different time and place. And if there's anything that you take away from this video here today, more than anything else, is the fact that what you're going through is completely normal. There's nothing wrong with you. You are a human being. You have emotions, you have feelings, you have wants, you have needs, just like everyone does. And you've gone through things just like everyone does. Okay, we've all gone through breakups. Some of you have gone through divorce. Many of you have gone through divorce because the divorce rate's like 50, 60% nowadays. Holy shit. And many of us have experienced death either through our immediate family members or family members in general, or we've lost friends that we went to high school with, grammar school with, etc. Those are all things that are very difficult to cope with. And you're going to feel shitty for a while. And days like today, Thanksgiving Day, and the holidays are going to further enhance that shitty feeling, because this was a time of year where more than likely you spend time with those people. This was the time of year where you made more of an effort because it's the season of giving, right? 'Tis the season to be jolly, the season of giving, right? I understand. I want you to know that I understand where you're coming from. If there's no other person on the face of the planet that doesn't understand where you're coming from, I understand where you're coming from. Okay? And again, before I wrap this up, to the men out there that seem to think that, letting their emotions go every now and then is bad, it is normal for you guys as well to feel emotion, especially during this time of the year. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make you any less manly. In my opinion, I feel it makes you a stronger man. Now, you don't want to be a crybaby and cry all day, every day, 24/7, because then you'd be worse than a woman. No pun intended, ladies. That's just the truth. But if you're feeling sadness on a day like today, or throughout the holiday season for one of the many reasons I've mentioned here today, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong. It's perfectly normal. It's perfectly healthy. Let it out. Don't hold it in. Because one of the things that's happening in today's day and age is now men are feeling like they have to suppress their emotions or their feelings more so than they ever have. Men are being suppressed nowadays. Because of modern day feminism, like I've been talking about, and the way things are nowadays, it seems like, society has not made it okay for men to show emotion. And I say it's perfectly normal and natural to do so. Okay? Okay, so don't overthink things. If you're struggling on a day like today and you're missing somebody, an ex-boyfriend, an ex-girlfriend, an ex-wife, an ex-husband, if you've lost your parents or a parent or a friend or multiple friends over the years or recently, okay? If you're feeling that sadness, it's perfectly normal. Okay? And if you need someone to talk to, feel free to reach out to me. Okay? Feel free to reach out to me. If you reach out to me throughout the rest of the weekend, I'll talk with anybody free of charge for the rest of this weekend. That's my gift to each and every one of you. So if anyone wants to talk this weekend, for 30 minutes, got to limit it because I have other things to do. But if anybody wants to talk for 30 minutes, share what you're going through, and ask me for my opinion or my advice, I'd be happy to help you out free of charge throughout the rest of this weekend through Sunday. Okay? Reach out to me on Facebook. If you're Facebook friends with me, send me a private message. If not, go to my Facebook business page, Coach Eli, Uncompromising Business and Personal Relationship Coaching, or facebook.com/Life Coach Eli, and send me a message there. Or just email me at Coach Eli at coach.eliasmelas.com, Coach Eli at coach.eliasmelas.com. And one more time before I go here, tomorrow the big interview is happening with Charles F. Gray regarding my YouTube exit story. Where have I been since YouTube? Since I left YouTube almost 3 months ago, since I shut down my channel. Going to be sharing my story about how it affected my relationship. I'm going to share, what I've been working on since that point and what I'm going to be working on in the future. I want you folks to know what happens during the aftermath, which most people don't share. Most people go through shit, they vanish, you never hear from them again. Well, I'm here and I'm going to share my story, but I'm going to do it in a very loving and caring way without throwing anyone under the bus because Coach Eli loves everybody no matter what. Coach Eli loves everybody, you know, from the past, present, and even in the future. Even if I don't know you yet, I still love you. If I don't know you, I'd be happy to get to know you, and I'll love you. Okay? And that's where I'm going to wrap up and end this here today. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy this great holiday weekend with your friends and family. Please be safe. Please don't drink and drive. Okay? Don't do drugs. Take good care of yourself. If you're going through something, there are better ways. There are better ways to soothe and calm your anxiety and to feel better. Reach out and talk to me. I'd be happy to help you. Okay? Trust me, I know what's going on. I've been through a lot. I'm willing to listen to you and help you in any way possible. With that being said, have a great one, everyone. I'll talk to you all soon. See you all tomorrow. Bye.